Good morning and welcome to episode 140 of the We Are Yarn podcast. My name's Amanda. I'll be your hostess today. I have my beverage of choice. It may be a bit cold now, but I have it. Do you have yours? Let's get started.
I'm going down to the drugstore, buy a big old skein of yarn. I'm gonna knit me a kitten, even if you don't give a darn.
Okay. I wanted to get up and shut the door. My child is asleep across the hall. His door is shut. Now my door is shut, so he shouldn't wake up, right? We hope. I'm back in my craft room. I'm not on the floor because I thought you would like to see behind me my lovely stash. This is almost all of it. There's a little bit behind you. I have shot a little bit of a video to show you how I have my stash stored now. This past weekend, my husband and I kind of, on Saturday and Sunday, traded off days. And on Saturday, he got to clean and organize his workshop and his space. And on Sunday, I got to clean and organize my craft room, my space. So, I have a closet over here that was just, it had my stash in it, most of my stash in it, and it was just, and other things, and it was a mess, and I didn't like going in there, and it was awful. I wanted my stash out so I could see it, so every time I came in here, I remembered what I had. Because, you know. And I wanted it up and off the floor. There was a TV right there, so that freed up that dresser space, so I moved my cubies out here and organized by weight. And in my video that I'll show you at the end of the episode, in case you're not interested, so that you don't have to sit and watch it, organized. There is still some more organization to go. I'm not quite happy with it yet, but I'm getting very close. I touched every single skein of yarn I have. I touched every single scrap of yarn that I have. Let me show you my basket. It's over here. Want to see it? This is my basket of fingering weight scraps. I didn't realize I had this much, to be frankly honest, of scraps. He's been sick, so if you hear coughing, he's getting better. I found from back in 2008, when I thought that I would start making a scrap blanket then, one not log cabin, this is a barn raising square. So these were the first two pairs of socks I made. And then I started another one. Are you kidding me? But that was the treasure I found. I may end up, you know, I want to do one of those crochet granny stripe blankets. I may end up ripping that out and putting that in that blanket. But anyway, that's all my scraps and all my little minis and samples and things that I have gotten over the years. So, and leftovers, just little balls of things. So that's going to be super fun. Yeah, he's not ready to get up yet. Well, he may be. Oh, it took me too long to get set up and ready to go today. let me tell you one more thing though before I go, and then maybe I'll shoot the rest tomorrow. So we have a knit along going right now. It's called the Oceanbound knit along, aptly because we are knitting the Oceanbound by Melanie Berg, which is a beautiful shawl. Let me show you. Beautiful shawl. Thusly. Yeah, so garter stitch stripes and alternating with some lace stripes, and then the lace detail at the end. So these are my yarns in case you haven't seen. I'm going to offset myself. There we go. In case you're new, welcome. Welcome to my craft room if you're new. I'm so glad to have you. And you old timers, you know, I love having you here. Come by anytime. So I'm using, this is the Color Wheel yarn. Where'd her little sticker thing go? This is the Color Wheel yarn. This is her BFL Platinum Base, Superwash BFL in nylon, in the Morning Mist colorway. To represent the rain my husband and I got caught in on the beach when we were at Hilton Head, which is where I purchased this yarn. This is Manos del Uruguay Alegria in the Atlantico colorway. I have actually cast on, guys. Can you believe it? So, where'd it go? There it is. I have it in my bag that my dear friend Daniela made for me. And I'm thinking at this stage in the game, this bag may be a little too big because it just eats everything up. I'm using a stitch minder from Whimsy Stitches. It's a little acorn. And here is how far I have made it. I actually got to cast on. I know. So that's the Manos. I think it's knitting up rather nicely. And then my first stripe of lace. So we have a chatter thread going. And in that chatter thread, someone asked, and I don't recall your name, I'm not going to call you out by name on the podcast. She was confused about the decreases and increases on each side, that she was coming up with no increasing. She was confused. And everybody was like, well, your increase is a knit front, back, front, and that'll give you, you know, 2 increases on one side plus your decrease on the other, and then Bob's your uncle. I was like, yeah, I could see how she could misread that. And then I cast this on. And who misread it as well? This girl, after already reading the discussion in the thread about the misreading of knit front, back, front, KFBF versus KFB. So don't feel bad. I did it too, honey. But this is as far as I've been able to get so far. When I was sitting down to write my show notes, said, I wonder what size needle I'm using. And I pulled up my pattern page, which I'm usually really good about logging things like that on my pattern page. I was not this time. So I pulled out a handy dandy needle gauge that you can't see because it's clear. And the pattern calls for a 4. I had intended to use a 4. These are 3s. So, before I move on to my next row, I will be pulling out the appropriate size, a 4, and knitting on from here with a 4. I am not concerned about going up a needle size when I've already started the project. I just have this tiny little tail. I'm not concerned. It's a shawl. Nobody's going to know. Okay, so I believe last week, I talked to you last week on New Year's Day. I spoke with you about how I was on the fence about my color placement, that I had wanted to do the Manos as the garter and the gray as the lace, as I am doing now, so that the lace would really have a chance to shine. And when I look at the picture I showed you of it, my eye was really drawn to the lace. and I was afraid using the variegated in the garter plus the lace, I was afraid it would make it too busy. But then I started looking at other pictures from other users, and this is still from the page of the design, where they were wearing it like this. And that's how I will probably wear it. And in all of those pictures, the color of the lace is really the primary color to me. That's the color that I noticed first. And then the garter stripes were just kind of pops of color sort of business. And I decided to look at it not from a piece of art perspective, which it still is. Don't get me wrong, it's art. But to look at it, I'm not going to be hanging it on the wall and looking at it. So where my eye is drawn when I'm looking at it hanging on a wall is not going to be the same as where my eye is drawn when it's wrapped around my neck, right? And so my eye was drawn to the lace when it was wrapped around people's necks. I will be more likely to wear this shawl if the primary color that you notice is the gray, and then my Hilton Head Island souvenir yarn is kind of a secondary color. And so that's why I decided to go ahead and go with my original plan and put the Hilton Head souvenir yarn in the garter. I overthink it. I overthink things. I can't help it. So this is a knit along. This is a knit along. So I do have an incentive. This is going through the end of February, and I am hosting this alongside the lovely Wendy of the Sassy Pants Knitter, which can be found on Ravelry. Her group is abbreviated SPK, so go hunt her down there if you would like. I don't care if you post in mine and hers. She probably doesn't care either. But I have, when I was going through the stash and having a heart-to-heart with every skein I touched, this has been in my stash. It has marinated with me since my second SAF. So 2011, maybe? I don't recall. But I've decided to give up for grabs this beautiful skein of yarn. This is from Brooks Farm. If I understand correctly, they do not have an online shop. I've never gone and looked for an online shop for them, but I don't think they do. So, the only way you can get their yarn is at events. So that makes it special. This is their Solo Silk. Let me tell you about it. It is a sport weight, 4 ounces, 400 yards, 50-50 silk wool blend, I believe. 50-50 fine wool and silk. It is a single ply, and it's lovely, really subtle, darker blue, lighter blue, and green. And I feel like this is a part of my soul now, this yarn, because I've had it for so long. But it's sad being in a skein tucked on a shelf in my house. It wants to come live with you. So, knit up the Oceanbound. Throw your finished object picture in the thread for the finish line. In my group, We Are Yarn group. Yeah, see, he's laying back. I think he's going to go back to sleep. He needs to. He needs to sleep. But throw a picture in the group, and you will be entered to win this. I am really sad to see it go. But it wants to come live with one of you guys. Now, when you post your picture in the finished object thread, do not feel like you need to weave your ends in. You know how I am about weaving my ends in. If you're not in the mood to block it either, that's fine. Just show me that you finished. That's all. And now that the little man is deciding to rest a little bit more, I'll move on and tell you what I'm knitting for him. I had a dream that I needed to run out the door and I had no knitting to take. That's a nightmare, right? And it dawned on me that I had only my crochet project in progress and my Oceanbound. Neither of which are good. We're just going to Knoxville to go to a restaurant. I'm riding in the car knitting, right? Especially since my shawl, I was in the middle of the lace chart is where I'd laid it down. So, I cast on, I know. I know. So I cast on a hat for my baby. He chose this yarn when we went to Hobby Lobby once. I have this corralled in a sock because I'm just throwing this in my purse. It is the Yarn Bee Fair Isle Blue Orange Multi. He handled a bunch of skeins of yarn that day we were at Hobby Lobby. This is the only one he put in his mouth, so it's the one that came home, and it's the one I have decided to make a hat for him. So, pull that back up around. This is what it looks like so far. I cast on a size 6, US 6, which is a 4.0 millimeter, I believe. Yeah. 72 stitches, and then I'm knit 2, purling 2. And I'm hoping that it's going to fit him for several years. And this is how far I've gotten. I want to make it watch cap style where it has a really generous brim to flip up. So I may just now be getting to the actual body of the hat. This may be my brim still there. So it's been really interesting to knit because I don't know what color's coming next. There's no picture of the patterning on the ball. So I have no idea what's happening. So we had, started in brown. There was a little bit of orange on the end here. Started in brown, and then I got some of this, what do you call it, variegated kind of stuff going there with browns, and then more brown, and then orange again, and then blue, and then the dark blue. And honestly, what I was expecting next was light blue, and then orange, and then brown, and then variegated, and then brown. But no, it went back to this variegated brown business. So, I have no idea what's going to happen. It's very exciting. It's keeping it very interesting. I actually did knit all the way through the blue to see what was going to come next last night. My cat's making trouble. And I actually roughly am basing this off a pattern. It is the, Skinny Rib Stretchy Baby Hat, which is a free pattern. Not even on Ravelry. It's a free pattern on the internet. You can get to it through Ravelry though. I have linked to it. It's by Kayla Pins. I've linked to it through my project page. All my show notes, by the way, speaking of links, will be available at weareyarn.com and in the Ravelry group in the thread for this episode. I haven't figured out how to put links on YouTube yet because I don't have time to figure that out. So just go through to one of those other places if you need to look things up. You will get a link from there to my project page, from which, like I said, I try to keep really good project pages. There may not be pictures, but I try to keep the information current. So, you can get all the information there. Okay, he's waking up. But I only have one more thing I wanted to talk to you about. So I think he can wait 5 minutes and I can tell you about it. The final thing I've been working on is my cross stitch yoke. And it is, did I write it down last week? I did not. I didn't talk about it last week, I guess, which is surprising. I haven't talked about it at all. That's crazy. I talked about it once, I know. I cast this on, I didn't cast it on. I started crocheting this when the bug bit me. Back in October. So let me tell you who this is by. Oh. I bet it's on the pattern, which is in the bag. I'm having a difficult day. It's by Deanna, D-E-A-N-N-A, Young. And here it is. One of you lovely viewers gifted this to me a while back. A good while back. And I really wanted to make it. And I had this yarn that I saved from the place Tuesday morning. It is hand dyed by Araucania yarn. Oh, I didn't realize this was Araucania. No wonder I like it so much. So it's made for Knitting Fever, which is dyed by Araucania. This is Luxury Roving. And yeah, there it is. The tag that's covered up by the price. And this is what it looks like in the ball. It is all the neutrals. It is blue and gray and brown. And here it is, crocheted up to try to make this shrug. I think it was turning out very nicely. I really like it. However, I am 4 balls in. I had 5 balls, which should have been enough. When I knit, I never use how much yarn they call for. Never. When I crochet, I always need much more, and I don't know why I can't learn this. Oh, and you can tell where I changed skeins right there. Can you see that big line right there? What color? So, that's crazy. Wow. Anyway, this isn't going to last. I'm going to be ripping this out because I'm running out of yarn. I had 5 balls. I'm down to just maybe a quarter of the 4th ball plus the 5th ball. I'm only at 28 inches and I'm supposed to be going to 38. No. I was at 22 inches. I'm supposed to be going to 38. Or something like that. Either way, I need to go to 38. I do not have enough yarn to make it there. I did the math. I don't remember the exact numbers. The punchline is that I'm not going to make it to the end. I am very disappointed that I'm not going to be able to wear this beautiful shrug this spring. But that's how it goes around here. And I'm to the point in my yarn crafting. I have been crocheting for 10 years now. And I'm at the point in my crafting where this was a lot of time and it sucked. But I had a lot of fun crocheting this, so it served its purpose. I turned my monitor off for my baby because he's across the hall. I can hear him. He is ready to get up. And I thought I'd bid you adieu. So, thanks for coming in and stopping by and hanging out with me for a few minutes today. My cold coffee is even colder. And I had a good time sharing with you what I've been doing. If you have any questions about anything, like I said earlier, show notes are at weareyarn.com or on Ravelry in the group, in the thread for this episode, which is 140. Today is January the 12th, 2017. And my name's Amanda. Mandikat, M-A-N-D-I-K-A-T on Ravelry. And you can find me on Instagram and Pinterest as Mandikat, M-A-N-D-I-K-A-T 509. And on Ravelry as Mandicat, Mandikat. And those are really my social medias of choice these days. You can also, I wanted to share one final thing. I actually have achieved my first goal for fitness and weight loss. I am officially back to my pre-pregnancy weight, which I cannot begin to tell you how elated I am about that. So happy. So I'm on MyFitnessPal as well, but I can't remember honestly if I'm just Mandicat or Mandicat 509 there. I think I'm Mandicat 509. If you want to come try to find me there too, that's okay. I'm not very, I don't complete my diaries or put in my exercise or anything like that. It's strictly just for calorie tracking. But I guess you could still click through and see what I'm eating if you're just terribly interested. It's not interesting. Goodness. Oh, he's got the coughs. Coughing up all that snot. I'm going to go. I hope you have an amazing week to 10 days, it seems like, is my going rate for how often I get to sit down and speak with you. I'm hoping to have a lot more progress on that Oceanbound. I'm hoping to have a finished infant hat the next time I see you. And also to have organized that by color. And maybe shuffled some things around there. But if that doesn't happen, that's okay. Anyway, bye guys. See you later. So this is where my stash is going to live now. I thought I would show it to you. These are my fingering weight. I don't have nearly as much yarn as I thought. I don't feel bad about it at all anymore. This is lace weight in Sport and DK. I stuck some fiber there. That's going to be my cotton stash mainly there. That's all of my worsted weight that I have either in sweater quantities or enough that I felt it needed to be in a bag. And the couple on the front are kind of, I guess, kits I've built myself that I discovered doing this little endeavor. What is that? That's my worsted weight. That's some more, the basket in the back is my worsted weight scraps. And some hand spun that didn't fit in my hand spun section there. And then those are my hand spun that I already had wound up. And here we have in my wooden desk, we have some of my more special things, lots of my hand spun and my self-striping yarns there at the bottom. And then on the other side of my wooden desk, I have some other special things that I couldn't quite make fit in the other organizational tool there. And then some of my spinning fiber. That's not all of it, but I plan on moving the rest of it out into those empty spaces you see there. And that's my new yarn storage stuff.
I just can't wait to finish. I got the kitten in blues. No, I just can't wait to finish. That's why I got those kitten in blues.
I don't know why I feel like I have to ramble on forever to close the podcast. I don't get it. Why do I do that?